Okay, first of all, thank you very much. I think we were talking about this. You may be heroes, being here at 6 o'clock. The last panel, we hope we have a very big responsibility to try to keep you here until we finish. So, my name is Alberto Tornero. I'm leading the high growth potential company areas in PwC. And today we're trying to talk about redefining infrastructures. Infrastructures we mean. We hope that our goals are two, mainly. One, talk about innovation in the companies that we have this fantastic panel. And the other one is how big corporates and startups could work together. And the lessons you may learn, or we have been learned, or the panel have learned, about this kind of a strange relationship. So we are trying to do it very fluid, very fast. I have this fantastic panel. You have each 1 minute just to say who are you, where you work, and what do you do.
So I guess I have to start. I don't know if anyone is listening to me, okay? Well, my name is Jordi Escruela. I work for Correos, responsible on innovation. What can I explain about me? Well, I think you can find it in Google. If you look for my name, I think you can read about my past, my future, my present, and also if you look for the worst English speech ever done, I think you will find my speech last year in here in South Summit. I'm competing against someone about having a relaxing cup of coffee in Plaza Mayor. So, okay. Well, and now I'm rethinking we are rethinking infrastructure in Correos. This is me. It's been okay in time.
I think so.
Oh yeah, we have
Carlos.
that.
Hello, I'm Carlos Gros from Sacyr Group. I work in the part of the company Valoriza Environmental Services, Servicios Medioambientales. I'm the international business manager for that part of the Sacyr group, specialist in services, waste treatment, waste management, and now in innovation. You can also find me in LinkedIn and the internet. My debut is here as a bullfighter in Las Ventas today.
Okay, nice. Do you hear me? Yeah? Okay. My name is Erik Aaron. I'm the CEO of Tecnadis. We are a nanotechnology company based here in Spain. And we are now growing a lot. I think that we are the only startup here because all of them, they are huge companies, Ferrovial, General Electric, Sacyr, etc. So I think that will be very interesting to give to you my opinion about how is our relationship with the big companies as a startup. Okay? But well, I have to say that by the moment, it's very good.
Okay.
Right. So, hi guys, my name is Tim. Thanks for bringing me out to this wonderful weather here in Spain. I'm German. I have 2 kids, and I work at an infrastructure company. We do all kinds of stuff like aircraft engines and reciprocating engines, all this very complicated technology. So we produce about 25% of the world's energy. And we have a plane lifting off the ground every 2 seconds that has one of our engines. And my job there is to change the company, really. So I'm the jester at the company. I usually survive saying the truth, like at the King's Court. And it's very interesting. I get taught by my kids a lot. I got 2 of them. And I love my job. So thanks for having me.
Okay. Federico from Ferrovial, pleased to be here, pleasure. My role in the company, which is infrastructure company, we have 4 business lines. I'm in charge of IT, so I support every business process with IT. And I'm also in charge of innovation, which is critical for a company trying to be different. And my role there is to enable all employees to be innovative within the company, and we are very focused also in startups. This is the reason we are here.
Okay. Thank you very much for being in time. That is it is not the most important, but it's important. Okay, we will start with the same question for the whole panel. Try to explain, short, but explain one of the first questions that we think that could be interested. big corporates in infrastructures, industrial companies, and startups working or trying to work together or managing or dealing. Does it really make sense? We can start with Federico.
Okay.
Does it really make sense? We are in a very small, so we can be honest.
No, I'm always honest.
Okay.
Always.
Nobody's listening, right?
Yes, sure, of course. For us, yes. You know, we have a methodology for innovation, which is open innovation. This is the main statement. And in this open innovation concept, there are many stakeholders around that we are interested in order to improve the innovation within the company. One of the stakeholders are startups. And we will look for startups. I think that these kind of companies can bring us disruptive innovation, which is sometimes difficult to obtain that for internal employees or other companies. And we are interested in startups, not to invest in them, just to use them in our assets in order to gain efficiency and to gain more business for Ferrovial. So we look for startups concerning infrastructure business, and we test them in our infrastructure, in real environment, and after that, if of course there is success with implementation, we buy the technology and we use the startup. Okay, this is what we do.
Okay. Tim?
Do you want me to go next? Okay, so I think when you look at startups and corporates, the first thing you want to look at is what do they have in common, and what we all have in common is that we live in a hyper-volatile world, right? Everything constantly changes. Now, the other thing we should have in common is that extreme focus on creating value and outcomes for our customers. And this is where these two organizations are very different to each other, because we have size and assets and expertise and reach and all of that. Startups have agility, right? Now, there is no right or wrong answer, because if I ask you, do you prefer fish or meat, and you're a vegetarian, that doesn't make sense, right? So I think the solution is to get these two organizations work together and learn from each other, because only together we can grow and make a difference on the planet.
It's my turn. I completely agree with you. The difference with, for example, if I have to say something about our company, we are very active. We can take decisions very fast. Our board, you know, it's a small board. We work very close with the technological part of our company, with the corporate part of our company. We can take, I don't know, a flight and go to everywhere in any moment to move our businesses, to implement our technology, you know, to give access to many, many companies to the nanotechnology. That is something that is really new for them. They heard a lot of things about nanotechnology, but, well, the truly things are starting right now, you know. So yeah, we have a very good place in the market, I have to say, and we are a very good complement to big companies.
Okay. Carlos?
Also, you will hear many times the word open innovation. With the big corporates, we now use this is one of the fashion words. But for us, it's real true. We use many these fashion words to explain. But Sacyr also it has that on mind. I mean, we are as a corporate many times we're like a big elephant with many times not doing the same things, but you know, trying to keep your business, trying to working hard also. I mean, in Sacyr's activities, there's a lot of competitors, a lot of competition. So, of course, we have something we usually say, we have the innovation on the DNA. But sometimes we work in the same way, and we are quite slow, things don't happen so quick. And with the relation with the startups, we learned that things can go, you know, they say they are agile, they're so really passionate. They push. Sometimes the big corporates, we need somebody to push, to make things go on, to make things go faster. No, it's quite difficult to get to the big board and our corporates to get the decisions. But it's something that makes sense. Of course, it makes sense.
Okay.
Well, and continuing with the same arguments, we are a big public company. I mean, so if we are a big public elephant, so if we are talking about going slow, and this is the problem that we have to fight. No? I don't know if you remember that commercial about Durex in 2012, where there was a disc player that one goes to 45 RPM and the other one to 33, and then both has to read the same rhythm. So this is what's happening when a big corporation and when a startup meet each other. So startup is so excited, it has so much passion, and we are so slow to give them response that sometimes we doesn't reach the same goal. No? So this is the problem that we have to focus. No? We are working with some startups. We are learning how to don't do the elephant that just cries the small one. But I think it's a learning process, and I'll also agree that it makes a lot of sense. But I think you are in another big corporation.
Not so big.
Well, I mean, you have a big building. At least you.
Yes. Well, we don't have it. We are there.
And
But
if you talk worldwide, I think it's it's very big.
Yes,
So you are in the same case, and you are doing the same.
yes, for us, it has been very difficult. Because we try to do, because you have a very innovation area, because you have, for a company like us, the innovation on services, it is not so open. So, and maybe we will talk about that later. They are not very confident with some kind of very big corporate. So, well, we think it makes sense, but you have to find exactly what is in which area you are going to give value to the company, being the animal you are. What it is, I think, is absolutely, it doesn't make sense, is to think that if you are a big corporate, you have an approach just to be a big corporate with the startups. For example, our approach is absolutely different than your approach. We don't use them for innovation. We use them for transform our people, but we look and are very old. So so it makes sense, but if you want not to have very dead bodies in your suitcase, I think you have to look exactly what animal you are and what will help. I know, but you asked me, and okay, let me.
I think it's interesting because everybody seems to enjoy talking about elephants. And I went to Africa with my kids 2 years ago to learn a little bit more about elephants. So the one thing I learned is how do you eat an elephant? Does anyone know? Anyone know how to eat an elephant? Well, one bite at a time, right? Because obviously it's too big to eat it. But you don't want to be eaten, right? This is what is happening. Talk to the guys at Hilton or the guys at Sheraton and ask them how they feel about Airbnb, right? They are being eaten. So the way I want to think about it is, how do you teach an elephant how to dance, right? Now the problem is there is no dancing classes for elephants, not even on YouTube. I checked, right? There's no dancing classes for elephants. So the way you teach them is like one dance at a time, right? And you try, you fail, you learn from that, and then you try again, and you keep that going. So I agree, right? It's like one step at a time, but there is always commonalities and principles, I think, that we need to keep in mind, that are universal and that apply to everybody who is in this ecosystem.
Absolutely. Federico, who is going to leave us because he has another appointment. Thank you very much, because...
No, I can say something.
I know.
Please go ahead.
I just only saying because...
I'm not an expert in elephants, but the guy said something about innovation. And what is key for me, and you mentioned that, is that what we do with innovation and with startups is that we define very clearly the business challenges. Once you have defined the business challenges, you look for a startup to commit with these business challenges. And for us, we have many infrastructures all around the world. But what we have are users using that. I mean, around 300 million users using the infrastructure. So there's a tremendous opportunity to connect with these users and to connect the infrastructure with the users, and imagine every technology you can use there in order to gain efficiency to the infrastructure and to give a better service, to know the opinion of the people who are using the infrastructure, and this is what we try to do, okay? Thank you very much. Elephants.
Who doesn't like elephants? Not me.
We have, okay, thank you very much, Federico. Just to go, do you want to go to say something about that? We go forward? Okay. Just for Sacyr, for example, because you are a very infrastructure company.
Now you can say whatever you want.
In what kind of fields or some examples you could give us just where or how startups are helping you and how do you manage, you know what I mean? Just some examples in really, we work with this kind of startups. Could you give us some, or the fields you are working with them?
Well, we are quite new in the startups relationship. Our experience is quite short, dealing directly with the startups. Our best experience is right now going on with after we had an innovation contest in Sacyr, and the 5th edition was based on startups, and we having a good relation with a company that is making an app. It's called EPC Tracker. That's what the winner of the innovation contest, and it's quite a good relation, and we're learning a lot. But we don't have we have a relation with entrepreneurs and many companies, but with a startup like the definition we use now, the only experience is currently running. I invite everybody tomorrow morning at 9. My colleague Diego Rocha will explain exactly this experience with EPC Tracker. The speech is directly about the experience of Sacyr and the startup. Okay. I invite everybody. It's going to be detailed and everything. What I can say is our experience at the moment is really. We're really enjoying the passion they put on things, and all they're showing also many things in agility, and we had many innovation and many programs in the company. But we haven't dealt directly with the companies to develop a product.
It's a new challenge you are facing now,
yes.
And you're it's okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, from the other side, what is not to be a big corporate? What is your experience? Because you have a nanotechnology corporate working with many. How is your experience working with big corporates?
What we see is that. Big companies, they used to work with big companies too. So it's a little bit difficult to build a bridge of real communication sometimes with them. Because sometimes they see the small companies as just small companies, So usually it takes a lot of time to move them, to show them what we can do, and finally, they have a lot of interest, really, a lot of interest, and the things start to move a little bit faster. But usually, big companies, they don't know how to build that bridge, and usually, small companies happens the same in the other side, in our company, we have some elephants in our board. So that is something that is helping us a lot, okay, because we can be a little bit closer with the big companies, but usually it's not on the way, okay? But even with an elephant in our board, communication it's a little bit slow. But
and the decisions maybe.
Well, decisions it's just it's something worse. But we are very happy because when they visit our facilities, when they visit our factory, when they see everything that we did during the last 10 years, developing our technology, then they start to change the way of thinking about, not just about us and about another startups.
That is a very important point. Tim, you want to say something?
I wanted to hook in on this really quickly, because I think when you talk about having an elephant on your board, it's a good sign, because what both organizations lack is empathy, right? They do not understand each other. Now, the cool thing is they both have something that the other one wants, right? So this is like, what, 6:30. Normally, I'm German. Normally, I'm on beer by now, and we're all dancing on the tables. You've seen it on TV. So we got to have a little bit of fun here. Anyone have a guess what the big corporates have that the startups want? Anyone? Well, a fat balance sheet, okay? A lot of money, a lot of resources, a lot of customers.
Yeah.
Now, here's the trick question. There is something that the startups have that is free of charge and impossible to get for a corporate. Any ideas?
Possible to get.
So it's impossible to get, and there is no cost to it. But empathy would enable you to do that. It's the mindset, right? Because the mindset gets in the way. If you would have the empathy, you could understand the mindset. If you could change the mindset, you could wipe the startups away. This is the advantage the startups have, because if corporate would figure that out, it'd be very tricky. This is not what I say. I met a guy who works at Deutsche Bahn, who's like the German rail operator, who I had the opportunity to speak to, and he told me that, right? Once I managed to get past the guy who guards the entrance, because I was dressed up like this, and it's very difficult to get to the top floor. But this is the one thing that sticks in my head. How do I change the mindset in the corporate world? And also, and I love the fact you have this elephant on the board, because you're understanding that startups have something to learn too.
Yeah.
It's not just the corporates. Both have to learn, right? Very, very important.
Sorry, just one thing also to make clear, sometimes the big corporates have the expertise and the experience in the people that they have daily work. That's one of the biggest problems in my point of view, that the big corporates have their experts are very busy with their own service, their own projects, their own things. So the involvement of we want the best people to help the startups because we believe in them. So sometimes it's really difficult to involve those people, to get them to give them enough time to get together, to share the time and get the ideas, get things running.
I have to challenge for you. One is for me is because I'm not so sure about that. And the second is that you are going to explain how to innovate in a public administration. So let me go for the first one. Let me go the first challenge. I think the most difficult thing is to put in common, again the same word, so different animals. We said, no, we want entrepreneur people within our companies. Entrepreneur people has a lot of responsibility, a lot of free, and a lot of reward. So, are we able in our companies to have a lot of freedom, a lot of reward, and a lot of responsibility? And even more, how do we, because if they fail, if you have something very entrepreneur in your companies, if they fail, it's okay. Well, you will be here in the company. The point is, what happens if it have the goals? That is the first challenge I launch, but first, or second, please explain. That is a very more specific challenge. What is how to innovate in a public administration?
Well, we are innovating since 2012. We start trying to rethink the company, and well, it was a real big challenge because as a public body, I mean, for example, if we want to engage with a startup and we want to invest in the company, then we have to ask permission to the Consejo de Ministros. I don't know the translation. I mean, because the startup became a public company. So, and we are very good to generating attraction, to generate deal flow, But then our problem is how do we engage with the startup? Okay, we are sponsoring events like this. We are in some other innovation programs, entrepreneurs programs, and we are trying to find the way to invest on the entrepreneurs. But this is a learning process. I mean, it's not easy, and we have to be creative because we are in innovation. So we have some solutions thinking in public tenders. I mean, at the end, when you organize an innovation challenge, I mean, you launch a challenge, and then it's the same when you publish a tender, and all the startups just offer their services, and we can evaluate them. We believe that this is a way to invest in startups. I mean, I think it's a very creative way to do that, because this is the other problem. We do internal and external innovation. We do open innovation, and we do also internal. So we have intra-entrepreneurs projects in the company. I don't know if you have tried the Alimentos Auténticos, the fresh products from the producers, from the rural area. Those are startups also. So we are creating this platform. So, but then we have some other projects, and the big challenge that we have is, if we want to innovate and we want someone help us to innovate, we have to tell to the market what we are trying to do. I mean, so, and we have found some clauses in the contract law, so we can do some confidential innovation, but it's really tough, and it's not necessary to tell what's happened when government is changing. That is going to happen next December. I mean, but I think it's the same. I think any big corporation have problems, barriers to change this operational way of thinking, of this excellence orientation. I mean, everybody is afraid about changing the typical things that are doing daily way. I mean, and what we have to introduce is what you were saying, you know? Startups are risk-orientated, and we have to merge the excellence-orientated people from corporations and also the risk orientation. If we merge and we reach the same RPM, like in the commercial, I think this is the solution, but we have to fight to find this.
It is really challenging, even because you change the big boss. Every 4 years, your big boss is changing. So I have a mandatory...
Can I hook into that?
Please, I have only a mandatory thing, because if someone has any question, because we have a lot of things to say, but I don't want to if it's okay, nobody has questions. You have? Okay. Tim, I will let you later after the question.
Sorry?
After the question, you can...
Yeah, sure, anytime. I'm here. I'm running low on water, but I'm good.
Yeah, we'll keep away the elephants.
Hello.
I'm not afraid of elephants.
Open innovation.
My question is to all of you. When was the last time you actually started working with a startup? And how long did it take from the time you decided it was a perfect fit for your firm till you started actually working with the startup?
Sorry,
I haven't heard very well.
I don't hear.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
but
When was the last time you started working with a startup?
start.
Okay. You
Okay.
started working with.
Yeah, how long
Yeah.
did we start?
And
Okay.
how long did it take from the moment you decided it was a perfect fit for you till the moment you actually start working with the startup?
Okay.
So how long is the decision time you take? Thank you.
Who wants to
It's a question
answer?
to everybody.
Yes, we can ask her.
I can check
for
it.
you guys.
Okay.
So when was the last time we started working with a startup? Yesterday? Yeah, maybe it was today, right? Because we do this all over the place. And when was it a perfect fit? It's never a perfect fit, right? Because, you know, let me ask back. My mom said don't ask questions back, but, you know, what's the last time you started dating a girl? And when was it a perfect fit, right? Because this is how it works. You get together, you like each other, and then it's a relationship. There's ups and downs and sideways, right? The trick is not to get a new girl every 4 weeks, right? The trick is to work with that girl or that guy or whatever you're into, I don't care, elephants, right? Elephants. And make it work, but not make it work with a lot of force, but by creating value for the customer, because that is the true north for both organizations, right? This is, in my opinion, how you have to steer it, but I might be wrong, so I'm turning to my right.
Yeah. Let me say you something. For example, we are working with a steel company. Okay, we are a startup in a large steel company in Europe and United States, etc. We started to work with them, I think that in March, something like that. Okay, we don't have anything on the table. We're just working in the laboratory, trying many things, trying to adjust our products to them. Takes time, but sometimes let me tell you something about the startups, what I see. Because I come from the investment side. I used to manage investment companies, okay? And it's something that we try to implement from the first beginning in our company. We have to be very proud of us and our products, but we cannot be just blind, you know? Sometimes the guys who start a project, they are so proud of their product or everything, you know, they have passion in every single way of their product, and sometimes they cannot, they not see, or they are not prepared to listen a couple things that maybe they don't want to listen, okay? But it takes time. It's not mathematics, you know, it's not something that you can calculate, okay?
Can I comment just briefly? I just made up this thing with a girl, right? But I think it's really cool, because what you just said, you know, if you have to be proud, and if you have to talk, and she has to listen. I mean, I've been married, and I've been with my girl for like 18 years, so I haven't really picked up a girl lately. But if you're like really proud, and she really needs to listen, I'm not sure how much you're scoring, right? And that might be part of the problem, just in my mind. But I need to work on that a little bit.
I think I will launch the question on the other side. How long are you going to be waiting until you start working with a big corporate? And think if you really want to work with a really big corporate. Because sometimes the worst thing you can do is to think that this contract with this big corporate will be fantastic for us. I've seen many companies that are still waiting after 1 year. So you have to know it. Just know it. But don't think that big corporates does not exist. People working in big corporates is what exists. So if you don't know the schedule and the objectives of the people in the big corporate, you're wasting your time. So that is a little bit long question. So does anybody has any other question? Any other? No, it's okay. So, well, we have 1 minute for conclusions. So it is very, very easy. A kind of a line. How do you think your companies, or what is the main thing for the future that those companies are going to do with startups? What is the main objective you are going to look for working with startups? Tim, we want to start?
I thought I got some thinking time for this a complicated question. Okay, 3-part answer, as usual. I think we need to think about what is really important as a company. As a company, I believe, I hope we believe as a company too, there is only 2 things that are really important, right? This is safety and compliance, right? Because as a corporate, we don't fuck around with those 2, right? We build aircraft engines and ventilation machines, so we compromise on those, people die, it's not funny, okay? Second one is you have to be aware of your problem, right? It's like you want to quit smoking, you have to know it's not healthy. Now, for smoking, everybody's like, yeah, but that's stupid, everybody knows, right? Corporates are not that fast. And then the last one, which is like the killer application, is you need leadership. Because the chairman being aware is great, and it's like a necessity and it's a starting point, but then you need to break it down into the organization, and people need to lead through the change, understand risk, and really watch out for security and compliance as the underlying thing for everything you do. That's, I think, the 3 things I would recommend doing.
Okay, thank you very much. Eric?
I'm not an.
Okay.
No,
a big
but no,
company.
no. It is tricky. It is tricky because I changed the question. So
We have the red light here, but
Yes, we have-
I'll repeat
we'll-
short
electricity. Yes.
the pressure here. What we want to transmit here is that we are a big corporate, but we are really open. Maybe we can be slow, but we are really open. We didn't know how to really get the approach to the startups, so that's why we create that innovation contest in Sacyr. We will we'll go for many editions, hopefully. That was our first approach because it's open. Everybody can try it because we didn't know how to. You know what would you do? You knock on the door. You Google it and you find the startups. What run some activities or some issues that you have in mind. So I just wanted to transmit that we are really open.
Okay.
We are over the Corte Inglés Castellana.
Open.
Open doors. Come and with your proposals.
Okay.
We will see if somebody can meet you.
Okay. Beware. Maybe you will have a very long queue. Okay.
Okay, so in our case,
Jordi?
I mean, we are doing some collaborations with startups. We are developing drone deliveries for letters and some parcels in rural areas. We are doing augmented reality in industrial areas with a startup, measuring the air conditioning in Malaga with another startup and our postmans. But this is a kind of lean startup methodology. We are developing the market. We are trying to find the value proposition for the startups because we believe that we can offer a big value for them because, I mean, I think this year is the 300th anniversary for Correos. I mean, we've been 300 years connecting people.
300.
So, and at the end, we are a two-sided business platform as Apple and Google. I mean, you have to set it, the users and the developers.
Okay.
So this is what we are trying to build, and we are trying to structure this.
Redefining.
We are redefining that, and just became a platform where, I mean, we are not investors, but we can offer services to develop startups and connecting people and moving things.
Perfect.
And this is our approach, and
Okay.
this is our project.
And Eric, you are not gonna go out without answering. So I make you the
No.
opposite.
Yeah, I
the
can say
opposite.
something.
So
Okay.
what are you looking for? What is their main objective working with big corporates?
What we're looking for? We were looking for, of course, the money that they have. Okay. Yeah.
Really?
Check your
Yeah,
pockets.
they start always
Really,
to ask
it was not
about the money. Okay.
innovation, fun,
It's
no,
a
it
good
is
point,
money.
you know, to start to talk about money. You know what are the expectations and what we need.
Bad finish for the panel.
So the first thing, you know, distribution channels, clients, international, you know, go be global, truly global through his channels. But the opportunity is there. They need us. We are completely sure. And as a startup, we have just to be very careful in every single step, every single detail, because every single detail counts a lot for them. We have a phrase in our company, it says, think big, act nano. You know,
Your slogan.
nanotechnology.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much because I think, well, we are in the panel, but I think that, or we hope that it was fluid. There is only one thing to finish is all the people I see in big corporates working on startups has the same face. What is, they're having fun. So that is one of the things that is most important for us working in big corporates. What is, it is really, really funny. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.